Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my second most requested video for you, and that is my foundation routine. I'm also going to show you how I highlight and contour my face. And if you want to see the makeup tutorial for the makeup that I have on right now, I do already have a tutorial up, so I'll go ahead and put the link down below if you want to check it out. And if you want to see my foundation routine, then just keep watching. So the only thing that I have on my face right now are my eyebrows. And I did already film an eyebrow tutorial, so if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below if you want to see how I do my brows. So I've already done my skincare routine and applied my moisturizer. The next step would be a primer. Right now I don't have one that I really like, so I'm just going to skip on the primer, but I do recommend you use a primer, and I'll put down below some ones that I like. For foundation, I'm going to be using Makeup Forever's HD foundation, and I'm in the shade 153, and this is like my perfect match. And I'm going to be applying that with my Sigma F84 angle top kabuki brush. These Sigmax kabuki brushes are very soft and very dense, so I really recommend these for applying foundation. They apply foundation flawlessly. I'm just going to pump some of the foundation on the back of my clean hand, and then I'll dab my brush and apply that on my face. And I'm just dabbing the brush on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to apply it first by stippling it on my face, and then I'll buff it in. So now I'm going to go ahead and highlight and conceal my face, and I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and the color that I'm using is Neutralizer. This color has a lot of a yellow undertone to it, and yellow really helps to brighten. So first I'm going to just apply it with my fingers, and then I'm going to blend it out with the brush. So I'm going to apply it under my eyes, and the shape that I'm going to do is like a V or a triangle. So I'm just going to apply it by dabbing it in. And I'm bringing it down to the corner of my nose and then upwards to the top, very top of my cheekbone. And you can already see it's giving a brightening and highlighted effect underneath my eyes, which I really like. Depending on how dramatic you want it, you can do just one shade lighter than your skin tone, or you can do 2 or 3 shades lighter. I like my highlight to be more dramatic, so I use one that's about 2 to 3 shades lighter. And then I'm just going to take my Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to blend that out. Because we are using a concealer that's significantly lighter than our skin tone, you want to make sure it's very blended. You don't want any harsh lines or edges. You just want it to be very seamless. Okay, so that's the highlight for under my eyes. I'm also going to take the same concealer in the middle of my chin, and then I'm going to blend it out with my brush. And I'm also going to go ahead and take that concealer down the bridge of my nose. For that, I am going to use a brush to be a little bit more precise. This is the Sigma F70 Concealer brush. And I'm going to basically draw a line in the center of my nose. You can also take it upwards and to the middle of your forehead. And then I'm going to use the same Expert Face Brush to go ahead and blend that line. Okay, so now we highlighted with our concealer, and I'm going to now set my face before we move on to contouring. To set underneath my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and use my Nye Banana Powder, and this is a setting powder that has a yellow tone to it, so it matches the tone of the concealer that we used. And I'm sure you've seen this 10,000 times or more. It's very popular here on YouTube. So for tutorial sake, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same brush that we used for the concealer. And I'm just going to tap some of this into the lid. You don't want too much. And then I'm going to dip my brush in here lightly. Tap off the excess. And then I'm going to set anywhere that we highlighted with the concealer. Under the eyes, you want to be careful because too much powder under here can look very cakey, and that's really not a good look for anybody. And it looks like I got concealer in my hair. And the powder that I'm going to use to set the rest of my face is MAC's Mineralize Skinfinish Natural, and I'm using the shade Medium Dark. And I'm going to use my e.l.f. powder brush, and I'm just going to pat into my foundation so that I don't disrupt or make any streaks in my foundation. This shade is a little bit too dark, just a tad too dark. It is darker than my foundation, but once the contour's there and everything else, you can't really tell too much. It's not that much darker. And you don't want to go over the areas that you highlighted, because we want to keep those areas light. And when I get to my nose, I'm just going to squeeze my brush and place it only on the sides of my nose. So now that I set my face, I'm going to go ahead and contour. And you want to make sure you use a matte powder when you're contouring, because shimmery powders will bring forth areas, and when you're contouring, you're trying to make areas recede or go inward. So matte powders to contour. The powder that I'm going to use today is a Slate contour kit, and this is my favorite one, I think, because I use it the most and it lasts forever, so I really recommend this. And it comes in light, medium, and dark. The brush that I'm going to contour with is my Sigma small contour brush, and this is a dupe of the MAC's 109. And it's just a very small, dense, domed brush, so it picks up a lot of product and places a lot of product in the areas that you want it. So I'm going to go into my powder, tap off the excess, and I'm going to begin to contour first on my cheekbones. Now, when you're contouring your cheekbones, you want to act as if there's a line going from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. So that's the area that you want to have your contour in. Also, it's important to have the most product in the back and less product in the front. So I'm going to start by placing my brush here, because where I first place the brush is where the most product will be applied. So I'm going to start back here, and then I'm just going to work my brush forward. And you can already see the contour or the shadow that the powder has created, and it has defined my cheekbones even more. So I'm just going to do the other side. Okay, so that's my cheek contour. Now as far as contouring goes, other areas that you can contour would be your temples and the top of your forehead. This will help your forehead to appear smaller if you have a larger forehead. And you can contour on the sides of your nose to make your nose appear smaller or more narrow. And you can contour under your jawline. Now personally, I use bronzer for those areas, so I'm not going to use my contour powder because on me I find that it looks a little bit more natural if I just use my bronzer. If I ever wanted to do a more dramatic look, then in that case I could use my contour powder. But today I'll use my bronzer. And the bronzer that I'm going to be using today is my Nars Laguna bronzer. This is one of my favorite bronzers. Mine's a little tiny baby one. I got it in a kit from Sephora. But this bronzer is very nice. It does have a little bit of a sheen or glow to it. It has tiny shimmer particles, but once you put it on the face, those shimmers don't really show up. It just looks very natural. And the brush that I'm going to bronze with is my Sedona Lace FB03. So it is a tulip shaped brush, so it comes to a taper at the top, so it really can get into the areas that you want it to go. Now the areas that I'm going to bronze is going to be on my cheeks, on my temple, a little bit on my forehead, and underneath my jawline. And when you're bronzing on your cheeks, just make sure you don't go below your contour line because you want to keep your contour defined. And you probably can already see the difference between this side and this side. This side is definitely more, is more defined and has more of like a sun-kissed glow to it. Now the next step I would normally do would be my blush, but I am going to be doing a tutorial right after this, and I'm going to include my blush in the tutorial, so I'm not going to apply blush here. But when I do apply my blush, my favorite brush to use is my F40 brush from Sigma. It's the large angle contour, and it fits just really nicely into the cheekbone area. So this is my favorite brush to apply my blush. That's a tongue twister. Now sometimes I do like to make my cheekbone stand out even more. So when I want to do that, what I will use is a powder highlight. A powder highlight is generally shimmery, so when the light hits it or the sun hits it, it makes those areas pop and it brings them out even more. A couple of my favorite powder highlights are the MAC Extra Dimension Skinfinish in Superb and the Balm's Mary Luminizer. So today I'm going to go ahead and use the Balm's Mary Luminizer, and I'm going to apply that with my Sedona Lace FB01 brush. This is a fan brush, and I really like the way that it applies my powder highlight. So I'm just going to take my brush, swish it in here, and then dust it on the top of my cheekbone. And you can already see the glow that it gives, and it really kind of brings out your cheekbones. Now sometimes I even like to take it in the C shape here, like above my eyebrow. I think I did that in my Miley Cyrus tutorial, but most of the time I just highlight for my cheeks. I just highlight on the top of my cheekbones. And the other areas that you can apply your powder highlight are on the bridge of your nose, on your chin, and on your cupid's bow. Applying it on the top of your cupid's bow can make your lips look fuller if you have thinner lips, or if you just want to make them look fuller. Now when you're getting to these areas, you want to be very careful not to put too much, because if you do, it'll look like weird, like the Tin Man or something. So I'm just going to on my chin, my cupid's bow, and down the middle of my nose. So this is what it looks like when I have my foundation, my concealer, and I've contoured and highlighted my face. I hope you guys liked this video. It was a very requested video, so if you have any other videos that you would like to see me do, please leave it down below in the comment section, and I will do the ones that I get requested the most. Also, if you like this tutorial, please thumbs up. What is this? What is this? Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already to see more videos. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.